Joining us now, Executive Director of the Skills Foundation of Mississippi, Clifton Carroll. Clifton, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so tell us about the Skills Foundation. What is the organization's mission? What does it do?
So the Skills Foundation is a nonprofit founded several years ago for the purpose of increasing Mississippi's supply of skilled workers. Sectors like manufacturing, energy, healthcare, IT, logistics, transportation. Mississippi has a shortage of workers in these fields. We know they pay good wages. We know that these are the targets in economic development. And our mission is to, especially through the use of communication messaging, try and encourage more people to go into these careers.
How is the organization funded?
The organization is funded through public and private means, so we apply for grants. We've been fortunate to get an appropriation from the legislature several times, and we raise private donations as well.
Gotcha. So we learned of some high school students at Petal and Hattiesburg High Schools, Hattiesburg High, who have been awarded some financial assistance, right? Tell us about that.
That's right. So we call them signing bonuses. A lot of programs and things like healthcare and manufacturing, the costs are already covered. And so what we did is we had students in Petal and Hattiesburg High Schools, CTE programs, send in applications talking about what they're going to be going into. And through that, we gave signing bonuses to 14 students, amounts of $250 and $1,000 for the purpose of taking the pressure off the ancillary costs, things like transportation, books, food, that sort of thing.
And would this be transportation, books, food, for the skills training that they're going to complete?
That's right. So just all the ancillary things that come with going into, skills training, whether it's at a community college or an on-the-job training or a stand-up program.
Okay. So the training programs that you guys support, is that where they're mostly conducted? Is on community college campuses or where else?
The majority are definitely in community colleges. A lot of these folks are going to Pearl River Community College, which is a really good college down there. And they're very good at assessing the needs of the community and the business community and expanding or standing up programs that directly correspond to those jobs.
Very important to have that flow of communication between the private sector to understand, and the education community to understand what the private sector needs in terms of skills to fill the jobs that they have available or that they are creating.
There's no doubt, and that communication is increasing, and it is something that is vital if we are going to start and chip away at the workforce problems that we have in the state.
What do the employers say about the work that you guys are doing?
They've been very, very receptive. We're currently doing this campaign called Skills That Pay just in the Hattiesburg community now. We want to expand it, but it has been great, the response from the Area Development Partnership down there, local officials, businesses, all sorts of people have been very welcoming and supportive of our efforts, and we intend to stay there and continue that work.
Yeah, just looking at your board of directors, and it's really a good cross-section of folks from the private sector, from industry, and from associations that are responsible for promoting economic growth, economic development, such as John McKay is an example. He's been on the program many times. He's president and CEO of the Mississippi Manufacturers Association. And a lot of others, economic developers as well, that are on the ground hearing from prospective businesses that are looking to locate or expand in Mississippi. Number one thing that comes up all the time is availability of skilled workforce. And so they hear, okay, well, how many do you need? What kind of skills do you need? And if you've got, I assume, people then that are guiding your organization, people like that on your board, providing that input so that you can act accordingly.
That's right. We've been very fortunate to have great leaders on our board, people who do represent large businesses, economic development organizations, associations like you mentioned, who are very plugged in to the business community, but also the political scene. And so they're able to kind of help with things at the Capitol in terms of workforce development. One of the biggest accomplishments I see that we've done in the past few years is the creation of Accelerate Mississippi.
Yep.
And I don't think that would have gotten done without a lot of those players.
Yeah. Yeah, Ryan Miller, and we've had him on the program many times and always enjoyed learning about that. You know, I point this out anytime the subject of workforce development comes up, but the community at East Mississippi Community College is something that really impressed me and felt like it serves as a bit of a model, a template, I think, for collaboration between the private sector, the education domain, to prepare people for the jobs that are available. Mm-hmm. What do you think about that?
I think that's exactly right. And, you know, the state has, just like other states, have always kind of done things in a certain way. And as technology has progressed, as jobs have changed, and as just the way that we train people have changed, things like the community that are flexible, they can quickly respond to industry need. I think you're going to see more of that throughout the state. We have a lot of good pockets of really good stuff going on. The challenge is to try and get that everywhere throughout the state, where there are organizations that can respond specifically to that region's needs, because every part of the state is a little bit different.
Clifton, we just shared some information about retirees now that are returning to the workforce just to make the economics of their household a little better. Are you starting to see that, where they're coming to you guys maybe and looking for skills?
We haven't actually seen that, but that's very encouraging. You know, as Mississippi's labor force participation rate continues to lag, as the whole country's is, and also factors like inflation, I think you're going to see more people start to return to the workforce.
Well, that's what they said in the report, in the survey, and I can't remember the organization, but it's one that studies those sorts of trends in society, in the workforce. And that's exactly what they said, is that they're all saying, yeah, we thought maybe we could do this. We sold our house during COVID when prices were at a premium. But now we learn that's not enough to make ends meet for the long term. We're going back to work. And inflation has, of course, chewed up a lot of what they were able to produce in terms of income and even one-time events like that. So, but they need to be upskilled.
That's right. And you know, any populations returning or joining the workforce is good for the state.
Sure. And it's good for the country as well.
It is, absolutely. And you know, I think especially with things like customizable training that's increasingly going on, you're going to see more people who are able to identify opportunities that fit what they are interested in and what they can do. And so, you know, retirees, they're going to be able to upskill more easily because of the work that's being done to reshape the way that we train people.
What about soft skills? We hear that a lot from employers. Geez, we need people that just have the basic soft skills, right?
Oh, it's a huge thing, and it's a tough problem to tackle, but we have seen it done. You know, there are places down on the coast that have had success. It's just something that takes a concerted effort. It's not going to happen organically, but it's certainly something that needs to be tackled because it is a real barrier for both businesses and those trying to find work. Yeah,
no doubt about it. I can't help but think about the famous movie A League of Their Own, where they've required, I don't know if you've ever seen that before, it's about the girls' professional baseball league during the war, in World War II, but they sent them off to charm school to learn all sort of those soft skills. And it's kind of what's going on here, is that you've got to have that balance. Mm-hmm. And those employees that possess the technical skills and the technical know-how to do the job, but also have those very valuable soft skills, they tend to be the most productive, have the best work ethic, the most loyal. I think employers would share that view as well.
We've heard from employers many times where we just need people who are going to show up, who know how to operate and behave in a work setting, things like that. And there are opportunities to make decent money and then move up and make very good money.
Sure.
But those soft skills are necessary. Knowing that you got to show up to work and that you have to, behave a certain way, dress a certain way, talk a certain way. I mean, these things are learned skills, and it's important that we start to try and chip away at that.
No doubt about it. Reliability is certainly a huge skill and a huge asset that a person can have, and it will take them far. Reliability, character, and integrity for sure. No doubt about it.
Absolutely, especially for things like upward mobility.
No doubt about it. Clifton, appreciate it and enjoyed learning about the Skills Foundation of Mississippi.
Well, thank you for having me on.
We'll talk soon.